deeper dive, let's bring in legal analyst and trial attorney Misty Marris. Misty, great to see you. So here we are, day 3 of deliberations, but day 2 of full day deliberations. The jury now asking questions. What does that tell you?
Well, when the jury asks questions, both sides are going to try and make some predictions, Nichole. And, you know, it's difficult to tell. They call it reading the tea leaves for a reason, because it could be as simple as there were a juror or a group of jurors who wanted some clarifications about the jury verdict form, about the video evidence. And so they could take that into consideration moving forward. That being said, if I'm sitting at that defense table right now and I hear these particular 3 questions, specifically the ones relating to the OUI, which is operating a vehicle under the influence, it relates to the charge, the lesser charge of manslaughter. Remember, she's also in charge with murder too. I'm feeling pretty good from a defense perspective, because I'm hoping that the jury has moved on from that higher level charge of murder in the 2nd degree and is now looking at manslaughter, and not just manslaughter, also the lesser included offenses, which carry significantly less time as a penalty. So from a defense perspective, these are the questions I would want to hear.
So, Misty, what types of conclusions can we potentially draw as more time passes? I mean, deliberations started Friday, so here we are now on Tuesday.
As more time passes, the general rule is that it's better for the defense. It means that the jurors are grappling with the case, that they're not jumping right in and finding someone guilty, that they're really going through all of the elements and making that assessment about whether or not a case was proved beyond a reasonable doubt. So the defense likes the jury to take their time in that sense. With this particular case, though, Nichole, remember where we were during trial 1. This is a reboot. So we spent 26 hours in deliberations during the first trial before the conclusion was reached that there was a hung jury. So here, especially with this particular verdict sheet, that issue was raised, that there might be some confusion on the verdict sheet. And that's kind of reminiscent of the question we heard from the jury today on the lesser included offenses. So I think right now, from the perspective of both sides, they don't want another hung jury unless it comes down to, you know, that manslaughter charge. But the more time the jury is taking, the more it inures to the defense benefit.
And, you know, you mentioned it right there. This first trial ended in a hung jury. What are the odds that happens again? I mean, would the judge just not stand for that?
No, I mean, it can happen again. So there's rules about when a jury is hung. There's what's called a dynamite charge. If the jurors come back and they say, we have a fundamental difference, we cannot agree on either one or all of the charges, the judge can read what's called a dynamite charge. It's basically a last-ditch effort to get the jurors to go back in and listen to each other. Whoever is in the minority listens to the majority jurors and takes their arguments into consideration. If then, after that is read, the jury cannot come to a consensus, that's when you see a hung jury being called. So at some point, it can get overly prejudicial, Nichole, to not call a hung jury, right? It can be seen as kind of badgering all of the jurors into actually making a determination on guilt or innocence. So at some point that could be the conclusion. I will say, and listen, again, you never really know, but these questions are really pointed at some very significant issues in the case, very specific. To me, I think we could be close to a verdict.
All right. And Missy, last question for you. I mean, this has really turned into kind of a bit of a local celebrity circus. I don't know if we can pull up the video. I mean, we saw her getting out of that SUV, waving at her supporters. Marcus Espinosa, who's live there on the ground for us, he talked to one of them yesterday. A woman was there. She doesn't know Karen Read personally, but she said she's using her vacation days because she wants to be there, you know, standing outside of the courtroom. She's not even inside. Do you think this provides us any clues into what potentially happens here?
Well, the jury is not supposed to take any of that into consideration, only the evidence in the courtroom. And even though they're not sequestered, they're not to look at any publications, they're not to look at any media. So really, it should not have an impact. But what I do think, Nichole, that group outside of the courthouse really reflects is just the vastly different perceptions of this case. You've got that sea of pink, right? Karen Read's favorite color is pink. Her supporters are standing out there wearing pink, and there are a lot of them. And they believe she had nothing to do with John O'Keefe's death, that it was somebody else. And then you have others who are there justice for O'Keefe, and they truly believe that she hit him with the SUV. And the question is, was it intoxication or was it intentional? So there is a real split here in the public sphere as to what happened on that night. And I'm wondering if you see a similar split in the jury room. Certainly we did on trial number 1, which resulted in a hung jury.
Absolutely. We will see what happens, see if your prediction is right, and that verdict may be coming down today. Misty Marris, thank you as always.
Thanks, Nichole.